Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Apologies for the really terrible lighting in here for this recording, but yeah, it takes me back to the very early days of my YouTube channel, I guess. The lighting in those videos is like trash, although to be fair, most of the lighting in most of my videos is pretty trash. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, I'm reviewing the DC multiverse, I think it is. Polka Dot Man. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, first of all, you get a little card. Well, like, almost like a little baseball card sort of thing. I think going over briefly who Polka Dot Man is. That's kind of cool. Kind of neat, I guess. You also get a bass player with like one little peg, which would be great, which also says DC on it, which would be great if you could actually like use it, which so far from me trying to use it, it didn't really work out too well. Another sort of gauntlet type thing, which is a little bit confusing because like there is no way to use this, so again, another kind of useless thing. The only major two good accessories would be like this thing, which is like the see-through sort of plasticky thing with like the blue, yellow and red dots, because obviously those are what he shoots, which then is kind of like sculpted in a way you can put over either hands really, to make him look like he's shooting out the polka dots out of either hand, as I say. You also get part of the collect and build sort of figure here, because the other characters in the wave are Harley Quinn, Harley Quinn, and Peacemaker, and then Polka Dot Man, and then when you collect all four, you get a fifth character, King Shark. So yeah, these are just like the two pieces of him. I think that's like a stomach or whatever, maybe, or like the main body, and that's obviously his head, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And then the man, the myth, the legend that is Polka Dot Man is here. You also get some goggles, which are actually really cool in the sense that they do kind of like actually fit easily over his head, and then kind of look kind of decent, and that over his head and or eyes even. He's a pain in the ass to stand up, basically, which is very annoying because, you know, I'd rather him be able to stand up, right, you know. He's got one hand sort of sculpted as the open hand, and then one kind of more of in a clawing sort of like motion. His suit is just this sort of greyish, sort of, or brownish sort of suit, that's like in the film. And he is obviously, of course, covered in polka dots, which again are yellow, red, green, and blue, I want to say. Yeah, blue on the back, green on the front, and yellow and red elsewhere and stuff. So yeah, I think these sorts of like gauntlets are kind of accurate as well, I guess, from the film as well. Articulation wise, he's just sort of standard action figure, really. I'm pretty sure, or like sort of superhero-y type action figure. I've not really reviewed a lot of action figures, or, well, I have. Doctor Who ones, yes, but I was going to say, like, proper, like, well, words. I haven't really reviewed many non-Doctor Who ones, so like the like Marvel Legends, Marvel Select, or like DC Multiverse in this case, figures before, but yeah, he just sort of has sort of similar articulation to a DC Marvel even sort of Legends sort of figure, and I want to say he's within that sort of height of like sort of 7-inch action figure, or like sort of, well, the 5-inch action figures I think are about like there on him, so just above crotch height. So he's, you know, as I say, about 6-7 inch, or like another 2 inches taller. So yeah. Just gonna put the polka dot thing on his hand, see what that looks like, so you can see what that looks like in the video. It's easier to put it on the non-claw hand on the claw hand I've found, but then, you know, you are kind of just sort of like left with just an open hand, I guess, on the other side, I guess. I do actually quite like the sculpt on the head, and the detail of like there's a strap underneath the head and that, you know, and that under the sort of cap, and then yeah, that's the sort of effects you've got when shooting out the polka dots and stuff. It's a really cool figure. I just wish, as I say, he could, like, you know, stand up properly. That would be also really good. But yeah, ta-da! He's finally stood up, and I bet you he'll just like fall back down immediately. But yeah, he's really cool. It's just a shame that, as I've said before, my favourite character, Ratcatcher 2, was not in action figure form for whatever reason, and I think she would be absolutely amazing. Like, the level of detail you could get in the costume and then the mask, and then an accessory could be like obviously a rat, as well as that like rat sort of spoiler alert for the film, like the device that she uses to manipulate, well, not manipulate, but like contact, for lack of a better term, like the rats and or like, you know, sort of tell them what to do, sort of thing, with them, or bring them to her to then, you know, disperse back out when she doesn't need them as much. But yeah, I love the fact that he's got all the polka dots like pretty much everywhere, you know, his arms, his legs, the back of him, on his little bum, on his, you know, on his back, on his back of his arms, on the back of the cap, you know, he's just covered in them, and that's, you know, he is forsaken, as he has, you know, aptly titled Polka Dot Man, you know. I think the boots are really good boots in terms of like detail and stuff, but as I say, in terms of like practicality of like sturdiness, not so much. So again, you might need to either try and use this pathetic base plate that they give you, or try and find another sort of action figure base plate, or sort of prop him up on a certain display if you've got one in mind, or as I say, just try and find another base plate from a different action figure and or collectible you might have, hopefully within your collection. Yeah, he's pretty decent. I mean, I'd say Polka Dot Man's maybe up there for me, sort of thing, as one of the other characters I really liked. So yeah, I mean, he's obviously very colourful, so and I just love the fact that like James Gunn has this knack for taking really naff, ridiculous sort of comic book characters and just actually paying pathos, is that the right word, and a proper tribute and pathos to them, and that, you know, like for example, Guardians of the Galaxy, to people's disbelief, obviously before those two films was seen as a joke in the comics anyway, and now not so much. And yeah, who knows if he's done the same thing for Polka Dot Man. But the DC multiverse sort of figure is pretty decent. I don't know if I'd pay 20 quid for this, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, you know, it just depends on how much you love this character and the guy who portrayed him in the film. Interpretation and James Gunn's interpretation. Maybe you just really want to build and or collect all of the figures in this wave to get King Shark, maybe, I don't know, or maybe this one's a bit of a pass. Maybe I think the Harley Quinn would probably be the most popular of the figures, that and maybe the Idris Elba one, although I don't think that one has his face revealed in it. He's got like the helmet on, so who knows, maybe the Peacemaker and the Harley Quinn would be the most popular out of the wave, and then the Polka Dot Man and the Bloodsport sort of playing second fiddle, I suppose. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate and subscribe to the channel.